Chat, I've got really bad news. Just the absolute worst. Apparently, the Disinformation Governance Board, along with dictator Mary Poppins, has been quote-unquote paused. It's a sad day. It's a sad day for authoritarians everywhere. F's in the chat. F's in the chat for the authoritarians. They tried real hard. They had high hopes. But in the end, as it turns out, we just didn't want the nonsense. Oh. So sad. So sad. Apparently, because Nina Jankowicz has been subjected to unjustified and vile personal attacks and physical threats. And this is she, despite the fact that she is apparently eminently qualified. This is the same woman who believes, like, F them. This is the same woman who apparently believes, like, all the disinformation. All of it. There is not one piece of disinformation that she came across that she didn't like. And then that makes her eminently qualified. That's why she's eminently qualified for a disinformation board right there. She's willing to pretty much believe and push any nonsense she possibly can. She wants to be part of it. With a name like Jankowicz, it has to be Jank. Janky. Yeah, I kind of called her that. I was like, Janky. I felt like Janky was a really good name for her. That poor lady. Now she'll never be the authoritarian dictator she wanted to be. The dictator Mary Poppins' dreams have just collapsed in front of her. What's up, Amtrue? How you doing, man? How's your week going? How's everyone's week going? It's already Wednesday. This week is going super fast, but the days, as Noob said, they're going super slow. The days are going slow, but for some odd reason, I'm already here on Wednesday. It's a little confusing to the brain. I don't know. I've got like a lot of stuff to do, but I don't have enough time to do it during slow days. And the weeks are, I don't know. There's some sort of space-time issue that happens whenever you're a busy adult. Good morning. Good, my Monday. Back to work tonight. Oh, man. That's Wednesday's your Monday? So you have off Mondays and Tuesday? That's actually pretty sweet. But do you have to... I guess you have to work during the weekends, though, so that sucks. I wouldn't want to have to work during the weekends. I only want to work during the weekends during, like, special events, you know? I forgot a year once. An entire whole ass year? Did you black out? You're just so busy that an entire year went by? Was that year 2020? We all want to forget that year. That was just a bad year. Every weekend, downtown Omaha at a hotel. True, that game you mentioned Monday. What was it? It slipped my mind. Yeah, what game was that? Today is a special day. You know how I'm an unrelenting optimist. It's a very annoying part of my personality. Subsistence. Subsistence. I'm going to put that in the Discord. I want to take a look at that. My optimism is paying off. Because everything that I wanted to come true for Twitter and for the country is coming true. It's almost like I rubbed some sort of genie's lamp and pow, there it is. Everything that I ever asked for. It's pretty cool. But it's also happening in hilarious ways. Absolutely hilarious ways. And the really funny part is that it's not... I don't know if this is funny, if this is bad, or if it's like disappointing, but also in equal parts really cool. We need to understand that we didn't get to a point of a red wave because of Republicans. We got there because of Democrats. But I'll get to that in a minute. I like that trait. I have it myself. Silver lining and all that. Yeah, it's not... I don't know. I've always had it. I always have looked on the bright side of life. Maybe it's Monty Python training. I don't know. But I'm always sitting there like well, good stuff is... You know what it is? You know what it is? It's because I work in an industry that is so keen on looking at the bad side of things and always finding, like, a reason to be angry and depressed. And after a while, your brain just starts to get rebellious about it. It's like, well, hang on, guys. Look at what's happening right here. I think that right now, though, this red wave thing that is happening is absolutely undeniable. Like, if you're in a bad mood right now and you're on the right, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. What's up, John? Subsector-structionist. Subsector-structionist. Suctionist. Republicans and conservatives are just right-leaning authoritarians. They don't believe in small government. It's just false advertising. I don't think that's true for every single one of them. I really don't. It's not true for me. I'm not a big authoritarian guy myself. A lot of my friends who vote Republican aren't authoritarians. They're pretty much, you know, they're the same people who go, if a gay couple wants to defend their weed fields, their marijuana fields, with fully automatic M4s, then by golly, they should. And I am of that group too. I think that people should be able to do whatever they want. I mean, within reason. You know, don't go murdering, thieving, raping. Don't be an actual, like, freedom takeawayer on a micro scale. You know what I'm saying? Or macro. Don't do it. But speaking of people who take away freedoms on a macro scale, Twitter execs are really, really, really screwing up. Hey, you guys want to see what it looks like when a Twitter exec runs away? Because I do. The ones that run the country are authoritarians. I think that's part of the reason that they're running the country. I think some of them are. I think Rand Paul is a really good example of one who's not. That's what makes him, like, every time Rand Paul speaks up, I'm like, this man's going in. And I like to hear what he has to say. Happy Hump Day! What's up, Susie? Welcome. I would like to see Biden impeached for the southern border. Let the chips fall where they may. Gotta be better than this. If Kamala doesn't work, impeach her. I'm pretty sure that if we were to dig even just right beneath the surface, we would find a lot of reasons to actually impeach Biden and Kamala. A lot of them. We could impeach a lot of people, probably. Republicans just need to have the cojones and the chones to actually bring this stuff forward. And when they get control of everything, and it seems like they will, and you'll see why after this stream, they should have no reason not to go all in and be like, all right, all these people have screwed up royally. We are doing full-on investigations. And by the way, the FBI, that house needs to be cleaned big time. God, the amount of stuff. If Republicans had, like, straight 20 years and they actually did what they were supposed to do, the amount of government that would be reduced, the amount of punishments that would go out for, like, these authoritarians who abused their position would be astronomical. The nation would be unrecognizable in 20 years. You would look back and be like, how are we this oppressed? And we just took it. That is if Republicans did what they were supposed to do. I don't think that they're all going to do that, because I think Mentats has a point. I think that a lot of them actually are just authoritarians with an R next to their name. He's not wrong. Does it look like an ever heard storming out of a courtroom? A lot of storming away. A lot of storming away happening from the bad guys right now, and it's really fun to watch. Biden is owned by the CCP, in my opinion. Dude, I bet I'm willing to bet Biden's owned by a little more than the CCP. I don't think you're wrong, but I don't think that's where it ends. There comes a point where you're just like, my God, everything that you're doing is so bad for America. Who's benefiting from it? I've got a tinfoil hat theory about a lot of this stuff, but again, I don't have a lot of evidence or proof. Just happenstance and circumstance, but so I'm not gonna I'm not that guy, you know. Wrong stream, but it's a little strange, man. Anyway. Y'all want to see what it looks like? Because I do. I want to see what it looks like when the CEO of Twitter runs away. Let me know if the volume needs to be adjusted in any way.
Okay, I'm never interrupting you.
I want to take a jog, but why are you running? Why are you running away from us?
Running!
Sir, why are you running?
He's legitimately
Are you running across
running.
the street? What are you doing? We're jogging here with a Twitter executive on the streets of New York City who's literally gone in an all-out sprint. You shared an email with us. Why are you covering your face? Well, you already talked to us. You shared an email with us here where it said don't disclose confidential information. Do you understand the irony? You're literally disclosing an email.
James O'Keefe is just, you know that guy who's running next to cops during the show Cops, and like these cops are like jumping fences and like, you know, they're doing all this stuff and they're looking like they're out of breath, you know, they're struggling to keep up with the camera guys, just like action heroing over these fences and stuff like that's James O'Keefe. James O'Keefe is the camera. There's us camera guy filming a camera guy chasing down the bad guy. James O'Keefe just pulling up. Oh yeah, no, you've actually talked to us.
Email. It says right. Here's the email. I can.
You're gonna run out of breath soon.
Groups like
you're gonna run out of breath soon,
Veritas
bro. Just slow it.
Active right now.
He's already starting to get
Right?
tired.
Excuse me, sir. What is Elon Musk going to do when he sees this?
I don't know. You tell me.
Are you going to be terminated? Why are you running?
I would just like you to leave me alone, please.
Why are you running?
Leave me alone. I don't want to talk.
This is one of the most important public policy issues in a generation. I'm James O'Keefe. I'm on the street in New York City trying to talk to this Twitter executive.
That was one of the best things I have ever seen. That might be one of the best things I've seen this year. That was one of the coolest things I have seen this year. Honest to God. A Twitter exec literally... normally that's like he runs away. He flees. No, this dude legitimately ran away. Or at least tried to. That dude was like... He was so panicked. He was trying to open doors. He was like a rat trying to get through... find any place he could crawl into, but it's just not working out. So he has to find another way in, or somewhere else to hide. That dude walked into what was that, a bar, and he closed it. He was so desperate to get away from James O'Keefe. You might be asking, what is it that he was running away for? Well, let's talk about it, because this whole Twitter thing is freaking hysterical. God bless. I actually did some work with James O'Keefe years ago. I was part of a sting, and we were in Austin, and we took down this guy. You know, this is back when Obamacare had just found its feet, and we were trying to find people who were helping set up other people with Obamacare, because you know how they had those people go around. What's up, Tech-Roo? They had people going around trying to sign people up for Obamacare, and there was a big concern that they were using the information that they just handed over these people to sell off or hand over to bad entities. And we found a guy who was connected to it, and I went into a bar with a secret camera, and I made friends with this guy. And then after I gained this guy's trust, I convinced him to go and speak to Lawrence B. Jones, who was going to buy the information that he had been collecting off of people for Obamacare. Lawrence B. Jones offered to buy that information off of him, and the dude was about to sell it. He agreed to sell it to Lawrence. And, yeah, that was good times. That was good times. That was before Lawrence, me and Lawrence were babies back then, man. So I did some Project Veritas stuff, and thank God, man, Project Veritas has done some damn good work. And this is just another, like, they have been killing it. Project Veritas drops a damning video on Twitter's censorship and fear of Elon Musk. Right now, by the way, everything I'm about to talk about is on redstate.com. You know the drill. You can follow along with me right now if you want to. And sign up for the VIP program. Promo code Morse gets you a discount. Really helps us out. And like the stream, if you haven't already. Really helps me out there too. Twitter has suspended Project Veritas. They had to, because Project Veritas was effective. Project Veritas was effective. They had to do it. I knew some guy who did sound for cops. Really? Dude, that talk about, like, you want to talk about dudes who are in shape? Those camera dudes filming cops, because back then too, you got to think, because that was like a 90s early aughts show. Those dudes were lugging around like cameras, you know what I'm saying? Like on their shoulder, and they're just like, yeah, we'll hop the fence. Woo. What's up, Kira? Morning, Becca. Hello, everybody. All right, so here's what happened. Twitter senior engineer was, okay, can we just real fast before we jump into this? Project Veritas actually makes me think that there is some sort of stupidity that happens on the left. Like some sort of real stupidity. Because when you really think about it, how many times do leftists have to be filmed secretly before they go, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be talking this much to people I don't really know? A lot of these people are like, they're dudes who have gone on dates with these girls who end up, they're actually undercover. So I'm guessing they're on Twitter or Bumble or something, and they, like, these girls go out and they find the guy or whatever, and they match, and then they agree to go on a date, and they film the date. And during these dates, these guys are like trying to impress the girl, and they're just spilling the beans. Like they're not even, like, there's not a thought in their mind. Not a thought in their mind. They're just spilling the beans. You would figure, like, after the umpteenth time this happened, that they would be like, I'm going to be real cagey. I'm not going to say a word. I'm not going to say anything incriminating. No, they're like, you know what? I could probably get laid if I just tell her how corrupt I am right now and how authoritative I am. Like, they don't learn. They don't learn. I still watch Cops. Cops is such a good show. It really is. I think it single-handedly kept G4 afloat for a while. The channel, not the YouTube channel. That's sinking like a stone. They took away live PD. Not happy about that one. Over a stupid reason, too. I hope that channel... what was it on? Was it on AMC or something like that? Or I can't remember what channel that was on, but I hope that they suffered big because of it. I wonder how Tara Price did with some of these clowns. Who's Tara Price? Do I know Tara Price? Well, they believe they believe what they are saying, so they can't help themselves. I mean, call center scammers are more suspicious than this. The ladies love authoritarianism light. I mean, you know, a guy in charge. All right, let's watch this.
So do you think there's a difference between Twitter's definition of free speech and Elon's definition of free speech?
Twitter does not ruin free speech.
That's actually a really good point, Becca. They think that everyone thinks they like them, so they don't worry about getting caught. I think that that's actually true. I think that many of these people really truly believe, they've convinced themselves, because they live in a bubble, they've convinced themselves that, oh, they're just like, everyone's just like me. Everyone thinks just like me. The vast majority of people think just like, it's like, no, they don't, dude. They don't. I hate to break it to you, but you are in an ideological minority. Tara was also with PV for a while. Oh. The problem with people on the left is their arrogance. They do know how to be they don't know how to be humble at all. It's their, that is their under, I think, again, that feeds into the bubble thing. They think that they're on top. They think they're the all-consuming majority, and they're just not.
Elon believes in free speech.
What do your colleagues say about it? Like,
They hate it. Some of my colleagues are like super left. You know, our jobs are at stake. He's a capitalist. If we weren't really operating like capitalist mode, we were like very socialist. Like we're all like communist.
Oh! Whoa!
Basically, went to work like 4 hours a week last quarter.
Wonderful.
That's just how it works in our company. But Twitter is like mental health is everything. Like if you're not feeling it, you can take a few days off. People have taken months off. I don't know the two.
I'm clearly working in the wrong industry. They've taken months off for mental health. I'm calling corporate. I still want to be paid, but I'm taking a month off for mental health. This dude, Twitter is such a cesspool, man. If you think about like the amount of people who work there, they're super commie, but they also need mental health breaks that last an entire month. If you need a mental health break that lasts an entire month, maybe examine your life. That's all. By the way, this right here, this little symbol they've got going on is just there. Well done, Project Veritas. I like that. I like that. But if you live in San Francisco, everyone does think like you do. I guess that's true. They never think that for like 1 second that they've been infiltrated. And you never leave because it's too expensive to get anywhere from San Francisco. So everyone around you is literally the same after. God, that would suck so hard. Can you imagine living in a place like that is so bubbled? Like, I like to be around people who think like me. Don't get me wrong. Everyone does. But if I had to sit here and just listen to myself talk the entire time and get answers back that I myself would say, I would be so bored. I would be so depressed. Except for Gary from Nerdrotic. Yeah, he got here. Yeah, Gary from Nerdrotic came. But he was very successful and had the money to do so. He lives here in Dallas. Doesn't he? Didn't Nerdrotic guy move to Dallas? I need to find a way to meet up with him. No one of these people are weeping over the possibility of Elon taking over. They're going to lose their nap time. Dude, no joke, because Elon's going to be like, you need mental health? You need mental health? Uh-huh, okay. Then this ain't the job for you, bro. You run a social media platform. Okay? You're not out here. You're not a soldier in the field. All right? You're not a surgeon who has to work on patients that are technically terminal and make relationships with them and lose. Like, you don't need the month off. You work at a freaking social media site. Get over yourself. San Fran was pretty. San Francisco still is pretty. I will say, my wife and I went there a couple years ago, and I did. There's a charm to it. I did love it. I didn't love a lot of it. There are certainly things there that sucked, but the poop on the ground wasn't fun. The needles in the gutter wasn't fun. The homeless people sleeping on that wasn't fun. And I made a leftist girl cry. That's a whole nother story, though. That part was fun.
Parties can
What's up, Dennis?
coexist on one platform.
So do you think there's a difference between Twitter's definition of free speech and Elon's definition of free speech?
Twitter does not believe in free speech.
Twitter does not believe in free speech.
Free speech.
Was that Siru Murugasan is a senior engineer from Twitter. I apologize if I butchered that last name. To all the Murugasans out there. Following Elon Musk purchasing Twitter, Murugasan seems concerned regarding Musk, Twitter, and free speech.
How does Twitter not believe in free speech?
Because Twitter wants to censor bullying and harassment. And the idea of free speech is that you can bully and harass people. And Twitter does not believe in this value as a platform because it's not conducive to a business. If you want to run a business, like even Facebook or Instagram, they don't want people bullying and harassing, or even YouTube. They straight up, any toxic behavior, they're like, nope, we can't have it.
Okay, here's the issue with that. They're sitting there saying, oh, well, we don't want bullying, harassing, or toxic behavior. The issue is that they themselves are so bubbled that they consider harassment, bullying, and toxic behavior simply asking for debate. They have that AOC mentality of, hey, do you want to have a good faith debate? Stop hitting on me. Stop catcalling me. It's that level of absurdity. And these people, like, I can remember during Gamergate when people were sitting there trying to get Anita Sarkeesian to debate them in good faith, trying to get Zoe Quinn to debate them in good faith. Pretty much anybody who was making any argument about the fact that the gaming community was actually evil and racist and sexist, and that all they really cared about was continuing to be evil and racist and sexist and bigoted while they play their games and stuff like that. They were like, okay, well, let's have a good, honest, good faith debate. And these offers came from every corner of the world. They came from every kind of race, creed, religion, sex, sexuality. Like, they had so many different offers, but they wouldn't come forth, and they would always say the exact same thing. I'm being harassed. Okay, well, and this goes for anybody. This has continued. Dr. Anthony Fauci did the same exact thing later on when he was like, well, because Rand Paul is calling me out so much, I'm getting harassed on social media and receiving all these threats. Okay, I don't doubt that there are actual people out there who are trying to harass and making death threats. However, whenever you introduce anonymity on a social media platform, you're going to get people who act like wahoos. I have it all the time. It happens to me. We have been laughing around the office, the quote-unquote office, about these emails we've been receiving lately that have been absolutely furious with me and a few of our other writers and the editorial team, right? But it's just funny. It's funny, okay? And after a while, you just start to brush off the people who are actually acting like a-holes, and you start to really focus in on the people who are, not necessarily, being anonymous doesn't necessarily make you invalid as a person with an argument. But if you are an anonymous person and you have like maybe 5 followers, 0 to 5 followers, and you're just there to troll, chances are you're not really real. And you can be dismissed. But even if those people do exist, if you're making a lot of claims and you're saying, you know, this person X, Y, and Z is being evil and bigoted, and they're making threats and harassment. Okay, well, what about good faith arguments and debates? What about them? Can you just engage with them, or are they also harassment? Well, yeah, they are too. Why? It sounds to me like you're just trying to avoid addressing the actual points and facts that these people have. And that's what Twitter and YouTube and Instagram do all the time. They just, if it's inconvenient to the narrative, then they don't want any part of it and they want to shut you down. This very stream has been censored before for merely suggesting to have a conversation about a certain subject that we weren't supposed to have. Apparently, that's bad because it might incite violence. These people have a wackadoo idea about what constitutes bullying and harassing and all that stuff. They consider actual debate to be harassment. This is why Elon Musk needs to take over. He needs to take over because people need to be able to share ideas and debate freely without somebody sweeping in and being like, well, that's harassment or that's targeted harassment. No, I just simply said that a woman is a woman and a man is a man, and that a transgender person cannot be the opposite sex of what they were born as. That's all I said, which is a biological fact. What's up, Pickled Squirrel? Twitter was designed around the shameless self-promotion, in-your-face business model. It struck me as odd when it came online, and I have one of the oldest accounts on it. Saying, I was there when Twitter was in its Wild West days, and it was magical. It really was amusing. That letter's so crazy, dude. I got another one. I got another one this morning. It is even. I don't know if it's worse or just as bad, but it's. There was an offer for, I'll just leave it there. There was an offer. Let's just say that. Robot and viral storm harassment is something Twitter has never figured out to manage well. Hopefully Elon does. They don't want to debate. LOL, they just throw temper tantrums. They really like saying racist a lot, too. Everything is racist. Everything is intersectional, so they can lead it back to racism and oh God, what was it? It was, I was talking about it on Mojo 50 this morning, and I can't remember. It was something, leads back to racism. It had nothing to do with racism. Somebody who was watching Mojo this morning, remind me.
If you bully a transgender, the right thinks it's okay, the left does not. Ideologically, it does not make sense, like, because we're actually censoring the right, not the left. Because everyone on the right wing will be like, bro, it's okay to say, just gotta tolerate it. The left will be like, no, I'm not gonna tolerate it. I need it censored, or else I'm not gonna be on the platform. So it does serve the right. It's true. There is a bias. That is what it is today.
This is not news, though. We knew for a fact that Twitter employees have been admitting that the platform is biased for a long time, even when its execs are trying to pretend like it's not.
Yeah.
Why?
They're both losing followers because the left is leaving and the right is coming back on the platform. The right that kind of denounced the platform, they were like, hey, you know what, we're going to come back because Elon's coming in. They're basically, Elon has a new Trump. Because they had a leader, they feel more confident. Because how do people join platforms? They
How
join
revealing.
because,
How
they
revealing
want
that statement is.
to look up to a leader who will protect them and give them safety. They didn't feel safe in the platform at that point, but now they feel safer. Now that Elon's there,
What about us?
well, we'll feel less safer. It's just like a spectrum. Like, I feel like when I don't know if the two parties can truly coexist on one platform.
It was not correct to ban Donald Trump. I think that was a mistake because it alienated a large part of the country and did not ultimately result in Donald Trump not having a voice. He is now going to be on Truth Social, as will a large part of the sort of the right in the United States, and so I think this could end up being, frankly, worse than having a single forum where everyone can debate.
What do your colleagues say about it?
They hate it. Oh my god, I'm at least like okay with it, but some of my colleagues are like super left.
What are they saying?
They're like, this will be my last day if it happens. So,
Has much changed since Elon's coming on?
Thank God.
a lot has changed. A lot has changed. Like we're stress eating a lot. Like we're all like worried for our jobs.
Why are you guys so worried?
Maybe they can take a month off for their stress. And while they're on that month off, they can maybe just not come back.
You know, our jobs are at stake. He's a capitalist. If we weren't really operating like capitalists more, we were like very socialist. Like we're all like communist.
We're all communists.
I think it's just
That would actually, you know what, we kind of knew that, but it does explain a lot. And it's nice to hear them finally, or at least one of them finally admit it. Because communists are some of the worst offenders when it comes to free speech. They're so guilty of ideological crime against other ideologies. Like, it's not a surprise, but it's nice to hear them admit it. And on top of that, now that they've admitted it, it'll be easier to clean them out. Because I don't think that every single employee at Twitter is I mean, I would hope not. And if so, then we need to have another conversation about this. I would hope that not every single person who went to work for Twitter was first scanned for how, like where they fall on the ideological spectrum. Because if they did, then that should be a form of discrimination of some kind. Like, I understand, like, oh, well, we need somebody who has the same values as us to come in and work with us on this platform. I understand the whole that whole aspect of things. But I feel like if you're at a point where you're like, you know, I'm not going to hire you because you are, you know, you fall somewhere to the right of Marx. I feel like that should have some sort of illegality to it. Because discrimination is, I mean, I don't know. I'm not for diversity hires. I want to make that very clear. You know what? Let's go back to this. Let me step back because I actually don't. I'm not for diversity hires even ideologically. If you want to create an all commie business, then you create an all commie business. That's fine. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you are going to do that, don't be surprised when your business begins to fall apart because you do not have an actual diversity of thought to help mix things up and come up with fresh ideas. Yeah, that's where I pretty much stand. I don't want authority. I don't want the government to get involved in that kind of thing, to be honest with you. I do think that it's wrong. I do think that it's morally wrong. But we're seeing the effects of it right here. They're all commie as F. And now everything's falling apart for them. Twitter's been falling. I mean, it's been a slow decline for years now. Almost, I want to say, almost over half, almost like 6-7 years now. Over the course of 6 and 7 years, you've had this really slow decline. And now we're seeing the reason why. They are so caught up in their own bubble that I think that they either shoved out people who would work there who have conservatism in their back pocket or in their minds, their belief systems, or they intimidated those people into silence. And all these commie as F people were the ones running the show. So I'm sorry. I'm this whole Elon Musk thing coming in and making them literally panic and stress eat because some dude wants to come in and introduce free speech. If the company is that panicked, then this company didn't deserve to survive.
Like the environment, like you're there.
What's up, Half Baked?
You don't know this. They call it California for some reason. Elon makes some good points sometimes. I'm slowly starting to buy his side a little bit.
Uh-oh.
We tried our best, but
How so?
we did all we could to like revolt against it. A lot of
Or is that?
employees
Wait, is that his?
revolted against it.
What is that?
But at the end of the day, board of directors have a say, and then they acted on their best interests because they didn't want to get sued. Because if they get sued, their families are at stake. They're just always looking out for themselves at the end of the day, right? And they looked out for themselves as they should, their families, and they made the choice that they had to make. They literally couldn't make any other choice. Because if they had denied the offer from Elon, shareholders could have filed a lawsuit against them and depleted them of their wealth personally. Like whatever their wealth they had, so their quality of life decreases.
He's beginning to understand the reason that capitalists do what
Basically,
they do.
when we worked like 4 hours a week last quarter, that's just how it works in our company.
Yeah.
But I've started putting in more hours because I want to get promoted.
Repeat that?
Basically, when we worked like 4 hours a week last quarter, that's just how it works in our company.
Yeah.
$4 hours a week? He went to work for 4 hours a week? And he's only going more because he wants to be promoted? Dude, Elon, fire this guy. Fire this guy. Not only is he a commie, but I don't care if he's starting to buy Elon's side, this guy needs to go. What a I want to work only 4 hours a week. That'd be great.
More hours because I want to get promoted.
Yeah.
And I feel like because of inflation, my buying power has like reduced a little bit. And I want to get promoted so that like they inflate your salary a little, they increase your salary by a lot when you get promoted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure, let me just try for it right now.
Also claims he and other employees prioritize mental health over running Twitter.
How would you describe communism besides Twitter?
Not just like a phrase, but essentially like everyone gets to do whatever they want. And no one really cares about like OpEx. Like capitalists will care about numbers, will care about like how to make the business more efficient.
Yeah.
But in Twitter, it's like mental health is everything. Like if you're not feeling it, you can take a few days off. People have taken months off, they'll come back. But you always like do your best at any time, and that's the culture. And you know, we'll run the business as much as possible, but at the same time, you know, like the profits are in the spot. Capitalists would be like, you gotta generate profits or you're out.
A lot of people
survive that culture. A lot of companies don't follow that culture.
Twitter's like Venezuela. Venezuela has a year-round growing season, deep oil reserves, one of the most beautiful landscapes that you have ever seen in your entire life, lush jungles, and yet its people live in abject poverty because the communist government has dictated everything. Here, we see a company that is the de facto town square of the West. I'm not just talking about America. The West. The Western Hemisphere. And it can't pull a profit. And for a long time, I was like, I'm sure that there are some smart people there that could figure out why. No, there aren't smart people there that could figure out why. They're commies, and they don't want to work. That's why. They go in there. They go in for like 4 hours a freaking week. They still have a job after being gone for months. All for mental health. God, Elon, when he walks into that place, I bet that he is just going to start pointing at people and being like, bye, 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 bye. Get out. Go work on your mental health. Don't get me wrong, people. I am all about talking about mental health. I really am. I think mental health is an important conversation in this country. I just got done writing articles about it for the last 2 days. But there's a difference between mental health and there's a difference between just being lazy and don't wanting to work and taking off and calling it mental health. Also, if you really are struggling with mental health because of your job, a job that you apparently need to walk away from for a very long, for months at a time, then maybe that's not the job for you. Good God. What I just saw is freaking ridiculous. 4 hours a week doing what? Exactly. When he gets there, what's he doing? Susie, that's a good question. I wish I had those hours too, Amtrue. I mean, good God. If I could work only 4 hours a week and get paid what that guy probably does, which I guarantee was about 3 times, maybe 4 times more than what I do, I'm clearly in the wrong business and I'm working too hard. Clearly. Is he worried about inflation? Asked and answered, Susie. Senior engineering. That's pretty much like, what is a senior? I would like to know what his job is. Loose lip sync ships or this temporary employee? Dude, he's gone. I would, if guaranteed Elon has seen this and he's like, this dude's over. He's done. He's done. If I was Elon Musk, I would point at this dude, Vijaya Gad, and pretty much, I don't know who else, but apparently the vast majority of the employees there, and I'd be like, you're all gone. Bye. Get out. If I look on the roll and I see that you have taken 4 months off, or a month off, or you've logged like 4 business hours every single week, you're gone. Get out. We don't need you here. What a joke this company is. It could be I bet it could be going gangbusters. But clearly it doesn't. It can't. It can't because these people, I bet these people won't let it. Elon is correct that the valuation of Twitter should be based on real human accounts, not robotic traffic leverage. It's still a money per eyeball industry. Exactly. And it is the de facto town square, meaning there are a lot of eyeballs here. And I bet that as Elon gains control of it, more will come. Almost guarantee, which means more ad revenue possibilities. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure that he has some sort of magical business acumen that Elon Musk has that will actually even turn more profits, not just ad revenue. I bet he's got ideas coming out the wazoo. I wouldn't be surprised if Elon Musk started to use Twitter as some sort of like streaming platform as well, which would, I mean, they try to do that like with Playhouse, like the audio thing. And I still see people using it from time to time. But I mean, like, I bet a video platform, streaming platform thing is not that far off. He wouldn't have to buy Twitch. I bet he could actually do something with it and really transform Twitter into something that it previously, he's going to morph it. I bet he could do that and even bring in more profits. God, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. I would keep the base Twitter, but then like you could go, like there's more to it now. There's more ways for you to send out media. You know, you could have a streaming platform behind it. You could, you know, almost have like I don't want to say like a YouTube kind of platform, but I mean like if he wants to compete with YouTube streaming, he would have to. I don't know. Twitter just has, I mean, the possibilities are endless. I'm not just talking like maybe he'll just settle on this, but I mean like the possibilities are endless. When you have this kind of platform, I'm pretty sure that a lot more can come of it. Those dumb capitalists always wanting to pay their bills and stuff and make the world better to advance humanity. Damn them. So on 4 hours a week, the last quarter, who do we think paid for the date? No, I bet he did. That's just it, noob. I think that he did because he's still getting paid an exorbitant salary, an extraordinarily large salary for having a senior engineer title. Oh, that dude doesn't get paid on an hourly wage. Yeah, no, he rakes in a lot, I bet. I bet he rakes in a ton. And he does absolutely nothing. I mean, look. Hats off, okay? I on another level, I have to say hats off. You managed to land yourself in a job where you don't have to work. Of course, now you're not going to have a job, so that's funny. If Twitter doesn't sell to Elon, Twitter will face the shareholders in court. Yep, pretty much. Which is why they suddenly reversed course, because I bet Elon was like, all right, I'm getting my lawyers together, and they just went, no, that's not necessary. We'll sell. Damn right you'll sell. Don't learn to code. Learn to say $20 for anything you... Same as downtown. Tech consulting does pay well. If you were to call yourself a consultant, you can actually get quite a bit of money, from what I understand. Maybe that's what I need to add on my resume. I should just say consultant. What do you consult about? A lot of stuff. I could talk about your tech platform, give you some idea. I could talk about your life, whatever you want to do, man. But whatever we do, it's going to cost you $20 an hour. Also, if you're on a date and presumably trying to impress the other person, is claiming you only work 4 hours a week that big a selling point? Kind of makes you sound like a slug. The funny thing, Susie, is while he was saying that, I was also kind of thinking that he added in I'm actually going in because I want to get promoted to try to impress the girl. Because, you know, he's probably thinking, oh, if I really want this girl to really glob onto me, I'm going to have to present myself as a go-getter who's going to make even more money than I do right now. Surely at that point, she'll never deny me. Elon will move away from ads to subscriptions, plus verify people, real people. I've been listening to group chats, which are cool, with people from all over the world. It's a cool idea and a concept. I just don't know if it's going to catch on like that hardcore. I'll be surprised if it does, and who knows? I mean, things change, but I think it's cool. It's a cool little gimmick, but who knows? I could be wrong. It might catch on big time. Twitter is what's called a base object platform. You bolt market share accessories on it. FB is the past master at bolting things on. I think that I'm not saying that Twitter needs to become a one-stop shop because I don't think that's going to work out for them, but I do think that there is a lot more potential for the platform than what it's being used for right now, and I bet Musk already has an idea about what it is he's going to go in for. Like you're going to start seeing the rollout of it, or at least the development of it, the moment he gets full control. It occurs to me with the number of people I mod for, not just sit there and watch, but actually keep track of chat, the food I make, the dishes I do, my own time. I do more work per day than this guy. You probably do, but we all do. I'm pretty sure everyone in this chat right now and everyone who is watching and lurking, I'm pretty sure you all work way harder than this guy. And you are paid way less for it. It's not fair. It's not fair, but you know what? It is what it is, man. That's the world. The world ain't fair. Reality 101. I'm too honest to be a consultant. Darn my values. $20 an hour is not tech consulting money. Hourly rates with overhead costs are decimal placed to the right. Oh! So I'm lowballing here. Elon Musk calls out Twitter employee caught in Project Veritas video mocking his Asperger's. So this dude is also fired. I think this is this the guy who was running away from James O'Keefe? Lead client partner on Twitter.
Well, right now we don't make profit, so it's going to say ideology, which is what's led us to not being profitable.
Oh, you think?
The rest of us who have been here believe in something that's good for the planet and not just to give people free speech.
Yeah, this is
Because
him.
again, like
That's the guy
these
who was
people
running.
really do
Who was running
believe
from
in what
O'Keefe.
we're doing. These are the policies we've put in place for misinformation or mislabeling media or whatever.
Yeah.
Why do you think this should be taken down?
Yeah.
Like those are the questions they're going to ask him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's going to be hard for him to be like, oh, because people should make their own decision. It's like, no, but people don't know how to make a rational decision if you don't put out correct things that are supposed to be out in the.
There it is right there, folks. I want you to see this completely and fully. This right here is the entirety of the leftist mentality. Let's read this. It's like, no, but people don't know how to make a rational decision if you don't put out correct things that are supposed to be out in the public. Twitter had its own Disinformation Governance Board before the Disinformation Governance Board, now on pause, oh no, existed. This is the rationality right here. You're too stupid to know any better, so they have to put out the information that you need to be putting out and make you say it, or you don't get to say anything at all. It is my way or the highway. This, folks, is just ideological fascism right here, baby. This is that commie fascist nonsense that you see all over the place in the San Francisco area, the LA area. This is it right here. The Democrat Party platform on speech. This is what they believe about speech right there. So perfectly summed up. Bye, Dennis. Thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate it. Time for my next consulting meeting. Have a good day, everyone. Hey, Dennis, are you going to work for 4 hours and then call it a month?
As an advertiser, as my business is what I do every day and why I go out is like, we want it to be as fair and transparent and accurate as possible.
Yeah.
And if that means there's a level of censorship to make it correct, quote unquote, again, and what does correct mean? I guess like it just kind of goes into the idea of like, well, what is correct?
If we're implementing all these rules that and Elon wants to dismantle them, then technically our ideology has led us to not making money because we're not making money.
Gee, it's almost like communism is antithetical to making money. It's almost like communism doesn't allow for progress. It's almost like it doesn't allow for new ideas that lead to progress, that lead to money. Gee willikers! This is communists learning the hard way that communism doesn't work.
And
Beautiful to
Elon wants
watch.
turn it the other way so that we can make money. There's a statement they need all 7,000 people to say, and so they can't like tell us that like the real truth. He has Asperger's.
Yeah, I know that.
So he's special. You're special needs. You're literally special needs. So I can't even take what you're saying seriously.
This man launches rockets into the air that come back and land safely. This man built an entire car company, one of the, if not the first, electric car company with cars that work so well that people scramble. They save up to get them. This man has so many companies under his belt that are successful, and he's only got ideas for more. And now this special needs guy just took over your entire commie platform. Congratulations. Who's the idiot? You are. Good God.
Targeting of tapes.
Wait.
You can read it.
Let me see. And how to protect yourself. Groups like Project Veritas are active right now. Is that?
It's like some group that's trying to just out the employees. Like they're trying to
Dude.
go on dates with them like this and record them and then go sell it to the New York Times and say this is what the Twitter employee just said. This is what's really happening. This is what they're telling us to not do. You're lucky that you met me organically because I would be questioning everything about you.
First off, hats off to the guy for playing that whole thing off really well. Project Veritas. What's that? Well done, dude. Well done. I can guarantee you that guy did not suspect him a thing. Not just because he met him organically. My voice is cracking like I'm some kind of 14-year-old. Not because he met him organically, but because he's on a date with the guy. And he's like, no right-winger is gay. There's no such thing as a gay right-winger. I'm pretty safe. I can say whatever I need to. Dude, this guy got... He bit it hook, line, and sinker. He got reeled into the boat. Oh my God, what an amazing catch. What an amazing catch. What did Elon Musk have to say about it? Musk did not seem to take those comments lightly, tweeting, Twitter exec trashing free speech and mocking people with Asperger's. He pinned it to his... Oh my God. Dude, Elon Musk is going ham on this dude. Good. He deserves it. Dude, Twitter's so done. Twitter is so done. Elon is leading. He's leading an ideological revolution, in my honest opinion. I'm serious. I think that Elon Musk is almost single-handedly turning it around. And the funny part is that the left is helping him do it. The more they stop him, or try to stop him, the more that they assist him in the effort. Project Veritas. Cell phones at their finest. Yes. Well put, Red. Cell phones at their finest. This is a gallery of cell phones. By the way, block off your tires if you change a tire on a hill. Found out the hard way. Oh yeah, don't do that. Yeah, you got that's why they always tell you to do it on level ground, but I guess every now and again you don't have the means, or at least you just get really unlucky and you can't do that. I love that he doesn't know how to say it. I know that's a stroke of genius. What is Project Veritas? Who is this guy? He needs an award. Seriously. Project Veritas. It's Veritas. Needs to come out with a Doritos knockoff called Project Veritos. I was actually thinking of that too. Veritas does sound like a chip. It sounds like a corn chip. Cooler Ranch. That is the PV guy saying it. That's why it was so genius of him. He played that off so well. Elon is a genius. He literally does think differently than people with a normal IQ's fact. He is. And here's the funny part. Not only are they losing Twitter, the left is losing the government that they worked so hard to take over. And Elon Musk, when I say that he's actually pushing for an ideological revolution, this dude, the other guy, the commie guy from Twitter, had a really good point when he said that Elon Musk is the new Donald Trump. Because I think that Elon Musk is going to attract a lot of people from the left to come to the right based on what he's doing, which is exactly what Donald Trump did. You would be surprised at how many Democrats became Republicans when Donald Trump came into the picture. Right? And here he is now saying that he's going to vote Republican for the first time.
You know, the reality is that Twitter at this point, you know, has a very far left bias, and I would classify myself as a moderate, and you know, neither Republican nor Democrat.
So okay, a lot of Americans do. They consider themselves moderates. They don't really consider themselves, you know, right leaning, left leaning. They just do what they do. I actually have a theory that most people are non-practicing libertarians. That's my honest to God theory. But as the Democrats go further to the left, they abandon. It's that old Reagan thing. You know, I didn't leave the party left me. As the Democrats drift further to the left, they leave behind all these people who are sitting there going, what the hell? I didn't sign up for this. And then they end up voting Republican. And here's Elon Musk basically summing all that up.
And in fact, I have voted overwhelmingly for Democrats historically, overwhelmingly. Like, I'm not sure. I might never have voted for a Republican, just to be clear.
Right.
Now this election, I would.
Well, David, you okay? Keep going. He's fine. We're going to resuscitate him. We're going to resuscitate David Sachs. I mean, let me ask you a personal
question. The point I'm trying to make is that this is not some sort of attempt to, it's not some right-wing takeover, as say people on the left may fear, but rather a moderate-wing takeover, and an attempt to ensure that people of all political beliefs feel welcome on a digital town square, and they can express their beliefs without fear of being banned or shadow banned. And that we obviously need to get rid of the bots and scams and trolls and people that are operating huge bot armies in an attempt to unduly influence the public opinion.
Okay, so right there, I think that Elon Musk just pretty much hit the desire of most Americans who don't necessarily consider themselves. Here's the thing. I think that deep down, most people are non-practicing libertarians, or they're libertarians and they don't know it. But because of all sorts of propaganda and pop culture and stuff like that, they all consider themselves Democrats, but they were all non-practicing Democrats. Many of them don't even go out to vote. Or if they do vote, they vote for a Democrat, but they don't really question why. They just know that, Democrats are the cool party, so they're going to go out and vote for the cool party. And you have these Democrats now kicking themselves in their own butt as they, and in front of these people, as they continue to drift further and further and further to the left and come out with all these wackadoo ideas and say all these things that are just really weird and throw up a guy as their leader who can hardly form a single sentence, like a whole sentence, works for me. Yeah, works for me too. And I think it works for a lot of Americans. So a lot of these people, I think, are discovering that, hey, maybe Republicans aren't actually the party that the Democrats have been saying they are for so long. And they're drifting over to the right now. I wouldn't even say they're drifting over to the right. They're just discovering that, hey, maybe we weren't the Democrats all along that we thought we were. Maybe we're actually more Republican than Democrat. That difference is becoming way more obvious now. And there are two things that I wanted to show you guys because I thought it was really interesting that this mentality is taking over. For one, the Democrats' own internal polling. This is from Cameron Arcand. Democrats, he's a new guy at Red State. Give him a hello. Democrats' own internal polling shows them down 7 points in the congressional midterms. Punchbowl News, DCCC internal polling finds that in the battleground districts, the generic Republican is beating the generic Democrat 47-39. That's a pretty good gap. according to lawmakers, multiple party officials say, and the Democratic committee. Jones represents 3/4 of this district. There's a lot of chatter in the Dem ranks right now whether Maloney can continue as DCCC chairman. Maloney is losing his race. A lot of anger and frustration at Maloney. Jones represents 3/4 of the district. Maloney is telling people that everyone should, quote, calm down. But it's understandable that Jones would want to run in a district that he represents the vast majority of. There is a lot of chatter in the Dem ranks right now. Yeah, it's whenever your own people are telling you that it's not good, it's not looking good, and that your midterm hopes are probably going to come crashing down if they aren't already, then why aren't you looking internally? Why aren't you trying to figure out what it is you're doing wrong that is making people turn away from you? And that question, I think, in my opinion, already got answered, and you can kind of see it happen right here in this video. Don Lemon is not accepting the idea that Democrats have moved far to the left since 2018. He won't accept that AOC and co are changing the platform and the policy direction. Y'all watch this.
I honestly still think that Trump is driving the conversation and not.
He's not. Let me just stop it there real fast. He's not. Y'all keep bringing him up. Y'all continue to bring him up, and every time y'all bring him up, y'all are just signaling that you're scared to death of him, which makes right-wingers go, you know what, maybe Trump's still a viable option.
Joe Biden or Joe Manchin.
But what Trump has done, though, is because it forces us to talk, about Trump all the time because he takes all the oxygen out of the room. But the fact of the matter is that the Democratic Party has dramatically changed, since 2016. Yes, Barack Obama made history and what have you, but let's go back to Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton and, go over all those issues and how Hillary Clinton.
But Mark, hold on. I don't think that's a polling. The polling doesn't show that the party has dramatically changed. The polling shows that the Republican Party has dramatically changed. The Republican Party has moved further to the right than Democrats have moved to the left.
Because the focus has been so much on the changing of the Republican
But as far as
Party
Donald Trump is driving the conversation, not because he takes the oxygen out of the room, it's just because all of these really far extremist candidates are somehow winning because of Donald Trump, not because he takes the oxygen out of the room. That's why I think he's driving the political conversation.
At the same time, you also have on the Democratic side, the far left wing of that party, the AOCs and the squad, they are dominating the conversation. They are dictating a lot of what the platform is.
Yeah.
The only difference with Joe Manchin is he's able to affect the politics in the Senate.
Is that right,
there's a difference between
it's not. I don't hear people talking about. I don't hear people talking about AOC. I hear conservatives.
But let's look
trying to make a thing of AOC.
This man is so bubbled.
Look what's happening. After this 2022 election, the Republican Party in Congress will become much more Trumpian, and the Democratic Party is going to become much more progressive because the Democrats who are going to lose are going to be people like Kurt Schrader in the general elections. The more moderate ones are going to be, many of them are going to be cleared out, and you're going to have a much more progressive.
This is the conversation.
It's going to happen.
Dude, okay, Don Lemon does not know what he's talking about. He thinks that the right has moved further to the right. I disagree. I just think that the right, during and after Trump, found its chones. I think that's what happened. I think that it started to actually fight hard for what it believed in, which is good to do. They should, because America is worth fighting for. They want free speech. They wanted the right to be able to own their firearms without interruption from the government. You have a leftist Democrat Party that has moved further to the left that is openly trying to take away your guns, openly trying to take away your free speech. The people who run the largest platforms are openly admitting that they're damn near communist if they aren't communist already. You have them admitting that they're trying to introduce narratives into the conversation and forbid other narratives from contradicting these narratives. You have the government coming out with a government disinformation board that was pushed back on so much because of how Orwellian it was. You have a border issue that is not being dealt with because people are afraid to be called racist if anyone does anything about it. Okay? You have an economy that is tanking because they aren't doing what's necessary to stop it from tanking. They're legitimately. This is, and again, I say this again and again and again and again. None of anything that the Biden administration or the Democrats are doing makes sense unless you look at it through the lens of a leftist activist. almost like a college leftist activist. If you see it through that lens, it starts to make sense why they choose to do what they do. Because a college leftist activist, or at least the leftist activists that you see on the streets, don't really care about outcome. What they just care about is getting what they want. They don't care about what happens after they get what they want. They never have. They never think about it. And here they are. It's almost like the college leftist activists have taken over the White House. Look at the Afghanistan withdrawal. It makes no sense on paper. No military expert would have actually signed off on that. None. But it does. Like, we just want to get out. And we want to be the people who said that we got out. It was us who got us out of Afghanistan. Okay, well, what about the fallout from it? Didn't think about it. Don't care about it. Don Lemon just exhibited right there, in my opinion, one of the reasons that the left is losing. It's because they will not accept the fact that they have been moving further and further and further to the left. They don't even want to talk about it. They don't even want to consider the idea. No one's talking about AOC. Dude. Yes, we are. Now, given AOC has not really said a lot lately, I mean, she's still talking, but, you know, after a while, you just kind of start ignoring the kid who's crying a lot. Make them calm down because you realize that that feeding them the attention is making them cry more. I think that's how a lot of us looked at AOC, and AOC is just, I mean, how often can you be embarrassed before you go, you know, maybe I should shut up? But she still talks, but we all still just kind of at this point in time go, oh, okay, that's AOC. But she is an extremist. The squad is extremist. We've seen that time and time and time again. And we've watched as the media and the Democrat voters who sign on to that, like, absolutely worship her. She's got simps for days. The squad has simps for days. It's kind of funny when you really think about it, that they think that this isn't about AOC, but it's not necessarily, he's right, it's not necessarily about AOC, it's about what AOC represents. And AOC represents a very swift shift to the left for the Democrat Party that few people want to sign on to. Don't get me wrong, they have simps for days, but they are not, in a general way, the American people aren't willing to go that far left. The Democrat Party keeps trying to push it that way. But the American people aren't willing to go there because America is still technically a center-right country. It actually is. I think a lot of people don't realize how center-right they are. But Don Lemon just exhibited the reason that the Democrat Party is so blind to itself. He's not even wanting to talk about it. He's interrupting them. It's hilarious to watch. Extremists must mean to the right of Marx. Right now, it kind of does. Especially to someone like Don Lemon. They always reverse it, no lie. Always the opposite of the truth. It's crazy. Trumpian, I hate the word. Stop making up words. I do like MAGA King. That was good. Or what was it? Ultra MAGA? If you're gonna try to put like MAGA in a bad light, maybe don't try to make it sound like a superhero. These people make enough money, they don't care. We the normal people working, we the normal working people don't matter. I need more coffee. Don't matter to them. No, that's I think that you have an elitist bubble that looks down on people like you. The people who get up and they work more, like 8 hours a day or more, sometimes on the weekend, just to make ends meet while they go off and take months off for their mental health, come back and work 4 hours a week. AOC is a certified professional liar. I wouldn't even say she's definitely certified, but is she a professional? I don't know. She's so blatant about it to the point where you're like, dude, you know, there's no possible way you believe what you say. You're selling something, and you know you're selling something. We've been busy covering mass shootings. That is also true. That is also true. What most people hear from AOC right now, Charlie Brown teacher, kind of get to a point right now where you start to, like I said, she is the crying toddler in the room, and people are just now starting to get to a point where they don't take her seriously, and so they don't really talk about her as much. When she was first elected, and she was surrounded by the squad, and it was clear that they were the unofficial leaders of the Democrat Party. Absolutely, people were talking about them. But I think that as people start to take them less seriously, their influence begins to wane. But weirdly, now it's too late. The Democrat Party has shifted toward their kind of ideological thinking. And it does not have the will or the power to bring itself back. There are a few people out there who are willing to defy the party, Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema sometimes. But other than that, the rest of the party is just, they're so deep in, they can't leave now. They're like in a bad relationship they can't get out of. And it's very toxic. Don Lemon interrupts everyone. He can't handle the truth, so he deflects. I feel bad for his husband. I really do. I bet arguments with that guy are impossible. See, she's so dull to listen to that it's Charlie. It's Charlier than Charlie Brown. God dang. And look at here's something that we should also consider. Look at the way that things are starting to play out now in elections already. Breaking: Trump-backed Ted Budd wins big in North Carolina Republican Senate primary. These people who it's interesting how it's already starting to line up now. And we're starting to see these Trump-backed Republicans come forward. Live elections in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Kentucky, Idaho, and Oregon primaries. We're starting to see these Trump-approved people come forward. And again, I don't know if... I think the one thing that is keeping Trump alive is the left. And the more they signal that they fear Trump, I'm not saying it works out every time, but the more they signal that they fear Trump, the more people on the right give legitimacy to Trump. So I think that the left is really its own worst enemy here when it comes to its elections. I think that a lot of these people are, and they're winning by good amounts and margins. I can't help but wonder when these people come forward to run against Democrats that, to be honest with you, a lot of these people they're going to try to use them. Well, they're Trump-backed candidates, and people are going to be like, God, I hope so. Elected. It's going to be interesting to watch. It really is going to be interesting to watch. This is lining up to be probably one of the more interesting one of the more interesting elections coming up. Because you're about to see, in my honest opinion, the end result of a lot of the left's shift to the left. The question is, are they going to learn from it? I don't know if they are. I really don't. I think that you're going to see a good amount of... You're going to see a lot of anti-Trump rhetoric. You're going to see a lot of rhetoric about racism and how this, they want to put women back in the kitchen and chain them to it. You're going to see a lot of this social justice flailing. And it's not going to work. In fact, it's only going to drive people away. And they're not going to be able to figure out why people are going away. Because like Don Lemon, you're going to see people just kind of completely shut out any concept, any idea, any indication, any hint that they might be wrong. Because they've been telling themselves that they're so right for so long. And they have lived in a bubble. And because they've lived in that bubble, no one's told them that they were wrong. They truly believe their own BS. I mean, going back to the guy who was talking to that Project Veritas the undercover journalist, I'm betting you that he didn't even think that the guy could possibly be a journalist for Project Veritas, because there are no gay Republicans. Republicans hate gays. Conservatives hate gays. There's no possible way he could be gay. Hate to tell you, bud, but there are a lot of gay conservatives. There are a lot of gay Republicans. The Republicans really are a massive tent. But they don't believe that. They've told themselves over and over and over and over and over again that this death cult is a party of hate, and they are racist, and they're homophobic, and they're sexist, and they're bigoted. It's just old white dudes. It's old white dudes. Rude awakening coming right up. High turnout, which you usually don't see in midterms. Yeah, exactly. The fact, Becca, that's a very good point. The fact that people are aware of midterms and willing to vote during what is not a presidential election is really indicative of how bad the Democrat Party screwed up. Really indicative. After the midterms, is there going to be any accountability and changes? If Democrats... No, I don't even want to say Democrats. I'll just say leftists. If leftists have any smidge of self-awareness, they will lose this midterms, which I'm pretty sure they are, and they will self-reflect and go, maybe we're the baddies, and we need a shift. Maybe we need to change. If they have a smidge of any indication that they have an ability to self-reflect or introspect. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I think that they're probably going to social justice themselves out of existence at this point. I'm not saying the Democrat Party is going to completely disappear. I think that the Democrat Party is probably going to be taken over by moderates as these social justice elitists are pushed out. But I think that that's what it's going to take. It's going to take their careers to come to an end, and I think the social justice fad is going to have to die. And it's going to die of its own volition. It's going to burn itself out, which has already been happening. I think over the past year, maybe year and a half, you've really started to see the decline. Really. They're running out of arguments. They're running out of guilt to push on people. They're running out of excuses. They're running out of... I mean, especially as people's lives begin to suffer, they're running out of answers. You know? And they demand obedience, and you can't demand obedience from Americans. Americans aren't built for obedience. In order for you to actually get their loyalty and have them follow your orders, you have to appeal to some part of them, some moral part of them. You have to, or you appeal to their fear. But once that fear ebbs off and they realize that, you know, you're just an authoritarian seeking to rule over people, then Americans do what they always do and they rebel. It's in our blood. We are literally a country that has rebellion in our blood. And past history doesn't paint a pretty future picture. Glenn Greenwald's a really good example of someone who learned, by the way. Elon Musk is another one. Dave Rubin. He used to be with the Young Turks. You know, you have all these stories coming out of people who just learned that, hey, maybe these people are wrong. We know that a couple will have that introspection. Most of them will just do what they always do, contest the results and blame everyone but themselves for the loss. And that's fine. Then they're losers. And they'll never win again. And they'll always blame others for their failure. And if that's the case, then a lot of people are just going to get tired of being blamed for something that they didn't do. And they're going to do what they're doing to AOC right now and just pretty much let the toddler cry. Let the toddler cry. Throw their temper tantrum. Or is it going to be a Republican majority that the last time could not even repeal Obamacare? That's what I worry about. And that's also a really good point, Amtru. I think that one of the things we need to make very damn sure of is that if we do end up giving Republicans the House, the Senate, we already have the Supreme Court now, and in the future, if we have the White House as well, and we just have complete and total control, these Republicans better do something with that power that we give them. Because what's the point of a Republican Party if they're not willing to save the country? If they're not willing to fight for it, what's the point of them? Except to just delay the Democrats from continuing to do what they do. You're welcome back. They do eat their own. Sometimes has to happen. Dude, I this the other day where I was like, dude, the tastiest thing in the world to a leftist must be another a leftist because they love eating each other alive. I've never seen, it is ideological cannibalism on a level that I have never seen before. At least not in my generation. You're very, very, very welcome. Guys, thank you guys so much. That'll do it for me today. You're an amazing crowd, an amazing audience. I love the conversation. I love the energy. Follow me at @TheBrandonMorse on Twitter. My DMs are open if you want me to talk about something, by all means. Amtrue, you inspired the Project Veritas thing today with your tweet, so congratulations. My DMs are open. DM me any ideas that you might have. If I want to talk about it, I will. Or if it's important enough, definitely. Or if you just want to hear my thoughts on it. So do that. Follow me at @TheBrandonMorse. By all means, subscribe to the channel. Like the stream if you haven't already. Go to redstate.com. Sign up for the VIP program if you would. Promo code Morse gets you a discount. You get a lot of great stuff for VIP, including articles that I do not have on the front page. They're for VIP customers only. So by all means, please do that. Helps us out big time. I will see you guys on Friday. Same bat time, same bat channel. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your week. Keep smiling. We're winning. We're winning big, baby. Big, baby. Let's keep it going. Later, guys. Y'all have a good rest of your week. See you on Friday. Peace.